Bad news, Pluto. You've been demoted. Now you're just another asteroid.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Give me all. Yes. Unlimited power. Easy. Okay, they're not done. That's okay. That's okay. We got it. We got the bullets. So we can't smack you. Oh, I want to be frozen, please. Get cooked. Come on, send me more. Send. Okay. All right. Please, crab, give me your bullets. Give me your energy. Oh, good. Oh, come on. No, please, come on. Come on, guys. Easy. I don't want to lose. Why did I have to say that right then?
Utilitarianism. The doctrine that an action is right insofar as it promotes happiness, and that the greatest happiness of the greatest numbers should be the guiding principle of conduct. The whole point of this ethical viewpoint is to make it clear with your actions of what you should be doing. Not only that, not only does it make your decision making clearer, but it makes it clear enough to where you actually make sure that gets done. That is the idea and positivity of utilitarianism. The problem is, it doesn't really work. Shalom, I'm Noah Price, your Christian gamer. I love RPGs, and you know I love roguelikes. And today we're talking about ASTEROGUES, a roguelike that I've been following for over a year now. I've been following it within the demo, and it's still in early access over on Steam, but I want to talk about it because this is a great game, and it's a game that I think it's still worth keeping an eye on. When it comes to roguelikes tend to lean on the side of mechanics and gameplay than really storytelling and plot. And I would say for the most part, ASTEROGUES still falls in line with that. You are coming to this game for the gameplay, not really for the story being told. Right off the bat, the story hooks you in with the awesome iconic music and just this idea of the sun demoting you so quickly. It's such a great thing, especially since if you're like me, if you're not too young, you might have actually related with understanding what the story being told here is all about. Pluto used to be a planet, and it getting demoted to where it's not considered a planet in our solar system really anymore is such a great thing that I wasn't expecting when jumping into this game. One, in real life, and two, here in the game, which causes the main structure and focus of the game, the main plot, and that is the rebellion against the sun for demoting us. And then you might say, hey, Noah, what does that have to do with utilitarianism? I guess that kind of works as utilitarianism, but really not. I mean, the planet just got too small and wasn't able to be considered a planet. How's that utilitarianism? Well, the main point is right after that in our little small hub world that we get introduced to, which is great. You get a lot of good dialogue that I find so charming in this game already. But one of them specifically says that these planets are people who get kicked out literally because they are not of use anymore. And we get into the cracks of utilitarianism and that kind of viewpoint. We'll talk a little bit more, but before we go into deeper about utilitarianism and what I think as a Christian and what God says about it, let's get into the gameplay. Technically, this roguelike is considered a bullet hell. A roguelike I always compare this to is Enter the Gungeon. This is an amazing roguelike. If you have heard it or haven't, you should check it out. It's a game where there's bullets everywhere. That's where the bullet hell part comes in. It's just a cluster of bullets everywhere, and it's chaos. The dev has literally used the word, this is a bullet catcher, because some of the main characters, their main mechanics is actually catching bullets. Specifically Pluto, which I love this so much because of one reason why Pluto got kicked out and got demoted is because it wouldn't clear its space. It couldn't clear its space of the asteroids, and literally the mechanic is you're swirling around using your gravitational force to pull in the bullets, catch them, and then throw them back at the enemy. I've never seen this before, but this is so fun. It's very satisfying. And so you follow in a pretty basic structure of you have this kind of bridging path that you get to go from zone to zone, and there's enemies at some, there's a shop at some, but basically you go from these zones till the very end where you fight a planet. I'm pretty sure it goes from farthest away till you slowly make your way to the sun. So good. So the first one you fight is Neptune. It's It's so good. It's such a small little thing, but I love it so much, and it makes sense. It makes sense. You're getting closer and closer to the sun. I don't know. It's one of those where it's just like, it works so well. You have some kind of like currency that you get in-game when you're going on the run to buy stuff from the shop, and you have another currency called shards, which you can use to unlock items outside at the shop at the hub world. And these items are some of the main things that you look forward to in a roguelike. It's kind of what makes a roguelike a roguelike, is this randomness, this chaos that you could have per run. What is the thing that's going to make it different every time? You have a activate item, which is something you can press and it will activate something and it recharges over time. But the other kind of item section is stat upgrades. I don't love stat upgrades too much when it comes to roguelike. These kind of stat upgrades feel unintangible. Not that it's bad. I've still played it and enjoyed it, but when it comes to my preference, I prefer something where when I grab a item, even if it's a passive, I could really feel the difference in the passive. That's just what I want in a roguelike. Now, you might say,
oh man, I don't know. I mean, pulling in bullets is kind of fun, but throwing it out, it's like, that's okay.
what other characters are there? Well, as of me playing this and recording it up to this point, I've unlocked 4 characters, and there's still a 5th character that I haven't unlocked. Again, this is at early access, so we don't know how many characters are going to be out when the game does fully release, but at the moment, like 5 different characters that do feel unique is very great. Now, if you want to be spoiled about the characters, I'm going to spoil them. So the first one is Pluto. I already kind of mentioned it. You pull in bullets and then you throw it out. Second one is the Void. The Void is kind of interesting in that you grab bullets with your hand, and after you grab the mount, you can throw it out with a shotgun like ray blast. Pretty fun and pretty enjoyable. The third one I was unable to unlock was not the third character out because I hadn't gotten that far, because spoilers, the game used to be much harder. So the character I ended up getting next was one of the most recent characters added to the game, and that is Orion. Orion's an interesting character in that it has like a little chakra that it throws out, and it is the most different from all the other characters. The other 2 characters still focus within grabbing the bullets, bullet catcher. This character is not in that, and so it actually throws the chakra and it hits the character, and then you catch it and you combo that way, and as you combo it and keep catching it over and over and over, it gets stronger and stronger. Very fun, very enjoyable, but very different, and I enjoy that. That's what you want from a roguelike, and playable characters in a roguelike is you want variety, and I think the roster has a good amount of variety. The last character I got that I unlocked that I could have gotten before, but I was just struggling through the game, was a character that is, and I love that so much, and I've been enjoying this for not only the characters and playable characters being unique, but also the enemies being fun and unique. It's been a good time, and I've only made it from the first world to the second world. That's as far as I made it, and the first and second world are different, and that's good too, because if the worlds are too similar, it can feel monotonous in the brain, and so having variety with different biomes helps with this a lot. And with the variety of it being different planets that you're hopping between, you should be able to get different kind of variety and different kind of biomes, and so I look forward to that. See, when I looked towards this game at the very first time, I was looking for another Enter the Gungeon. I love Enter the Gungeon, and I want another roguelike that does that, because I've done about everything in Enter the Gungeon. But the problem is, this is not Enter the Gungeon, and that's okay. It's very clear, though, that this game is inspired by Enter the Gungeon. There's a video that the dev literally put out, him coming to terms with, hey, he put it out, people bought it, even while it's in early access, and he saw success, and he was excited, but there's a lot of problems, and so he was going through how he was changing things up, and I noticed it too. The game was really hard, and so the dev ended up changing it to where there's an easier mode, and so there's different kind of varieties depending on what you want. You could play the old mode, the old hard version, or you could play this new version, which does feel still hard, but still feels good. He literally put in the words that he didn't want it to be hard, he wanted it to be fun. That was the focus, is it could be hard as long as it's fun. That has to be a focus, and I love to see that. And it really showed the humility of the dev, is that he's taking inspiration from Enter the Gungeon, but with it, he sees where there's success, and he doesn't hold on to what his old design of the game was. He looks towards where he can improve. Simple stuff, like literally seeing that Enter the Gungeon with its wave and how it put minions together was in a way that gave each room more identity. He also did the same in his own game. Instead of having it a swarm of enemies variety, he decided to limit it to different kind of enemy types together to help add that variety for the sake of fun. And it's this idea of humility that I saw in the dev that has made me look forward to the game and look forward to what it ends up becoming. And I think that matters a lot. A creator having humility is important. But the problem with utilitarianism, and it's important to talk about, is that some people don't realize the impact of it. Small bits of it, the idea of utilitarianism kind of seeps into our culture here and there. This idea of if you can't provide value, you don't have value. That is the thing. If you can't provide worth, you don't have worth. We see this in so many different examples. If you're an athlete and you're training to be an athlete in some kind of sports and you have an injury, you can't do it. Have you lost your worth? Have you lost your identity? What if you're old and you can't really work anymore? Do you still have value? Is it worth investing into this person still? God says yes. God makes it a point that you should take care of the widow. You should take care of the elderly, people who might look at in society as not of value, not as worth compared to others. But God says otherwise. God says they still have identity. They still have worth. They still deserve love. Utilitarianism isn't some kind of idea that only impacts the secular world. It doesn't just impact the secular business. This can impact Christians, even to the point of like, oh, well, they're not a believer and I truly don't think they'll ever believe. Why should I even try investing in them and showing love? It's like, that's incorrect. That is so wrong. Even to the point of, hey, I am someone who works within the church. I'm an elder on the church board and I get too focused on the logistics of improving. Our numbers are up. We have more attendance. That's all we need, right? More attendance, more numbers, when we miss actually investing in the people we actually have. It can affect us all, and culture does not help with this a lot, but God says otherwise. God says that no, every person has value, every person has worth. With that being said, Jesus loves you. I love you so much, whether you're a Christian or not, and I'm going to be looking at this game some more. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and I'm excited to see what the dev decides to do with this game. Shalom.
So yeah, this is the dude. So far we're doing pretty good damage already, but he has 2 parts, 2 health. Oh my goodness, 2 health bars. So yeah, dodging in is also super crucial for like trying to grab the chakra. Okay, I wasted it.